I think we're ready to go ahead, guys. If you are, and we can. Yeah, I don't mean to interrupt. Everyone feeling good, ready to rock on this? Okay, no problem. I've got an agenda here, so I can kind of read off this. Yes, I sent it last Tuesday it like comes with the minutes and all the other stuff theoretically. Maybe I forgot to. When did I forget? Yeah, it would have been some. Yeah. Okay, cool. So we'll go ahead and call the Conservation Commission meeting to order here. So I guess we should probably just do a quick roll call of the people that are here. So do you want to just say your name, Jamie? And Nate Val?
Leonard Doty.
Cool. So we are going to go ahead and move to public comment. I guess we don't have the Zoom meeting going, but we do potentially have some public comments in the crowd here if either of you guys are interested in.
I don't have any comments.
Okay.
My name is David Fowle, putting Sun Road West. I'm on the planning commission, and I got inspired by Tom Volper, who came to our last meeting to try to have a little bit more connection and overhear what's going on and maybe do a little bit more linking. And I thought, yeah, what a good idea. So I decided I'm going to start to try to come to these meetings. And particularly, I'm interested in this scoping study that you guys have got a grant for, which is exactly what we're working on in terms of development of the Village Center District. So I want to be very up on that and contribute in any way I can.
Awesome, thanks. Yeah, it would be really great to get some folks from planning involved in like carrying this scoping study to completion. Do you want to talk about the Green Mountain Racetrack stuff at all, or just kind of what you're thinking?
I don't know if that's appropriate.
It absolutely is. Yeah, if you'd like to.
Can I just get your 15 minutes? At this point, I feel like I need to get a lot more information before I'm ready to talk.
When?
We're going to do a couple.
Sure. Well, so the Wendy and I emailed a little bit along with a few other people that the very wide view gist is that the Green Mountain Racetrack is coming up for sale. So yeah, I guess from my perspective, what I'm hoping to do is see if we have interest in kind of creating a subcommittee that would have a member of the Conservation Commission, but also largely be run by Wendy and other community members to try to basically just get an idea of like, would it be possible for us to figure out a way to either buy it privately or through the town? What potential uses would there? It's just basically to kind of look into what we might be able to do with it.
You know, it could be a nonprofit, you know, and then take it forward, but you have to get funding to. There's a lot. So I just feel like I need way more information. I would love to have talk with about it because this is a team effort. I can't do this alone.
Definitely. If you don't know Jim Kosis, I think he'd be a good guy to connect with. I'm happy to start an email chain there too. So yeah, I don't know if there's anyone here that feels like they would be interested in kind of pursuing that. I'm happy to kind of facilitate a subcommittee and sort of stay informed on what's going on, though I don't personally have a whole lot of bandwidth to put towards it, but I am, if there isn't anyone else who's really like excited about digging into that.
Is page interesting? Again, I'm trying to gather information for it. So reach out prematurely. If there's totally unrealistic,
I'll just say that this has already come up a little bit on the planning commission as well, and so it seems like having, not necessarily me, but somebody from planning involved in that would be really good too.
Okay. I mean, yeah, my feeling on this is that we don't want to let this go by with at least trying to make some kind of recommendation, right? So yeah, I think like I'm going to move to create a subcommittee that I will be the sort of Concom point person on. And this subcommittee is going to be made up of members of potentially other committees and commissions and hopefully some community members. And the goal will be just to try and come up with a couple of recommendations of things we could conceivably do to kind of intervene in that side. Because it could just be trying to help guide like who buys it, right? We don't really know, but just to try and wrap our heads around the fact that it's getting sold and what our options are.
Did anyone see that, the article? I thought that, Tim Therian was saying it was like $1 million to clean it up.
That was the estimate years ago.
That was, yeah,
Years
that's a
ago.
long time ago.
Yeah.
So,
And they're selling it off in 3 separate lots.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's interesting too. So yeah, so there's a lot to be learned here on kind of what's going on and sort of background information.
Solar array stays or?
These are the questions that we need to find answers to. Yeah, unclear. Yeah.
well, I think that's a long-term contract. I don't know what the ownership is of the different parcels or some parcels, but I think that stays.
So it's a group in California.
Yeah.
I can tell you the group in California, they don't do it.
Yeah.
Hey, Margaret, I'll just put you on speakerphone if that's all right. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, hopefully you'll be able to listen and feel free to holler if you want to pipe in. Yeah, I'll just leave you on the table here. That's, Margaret's here. Yeah, there we go. Sounds good. So anyway, yeah, so I'm making a motion to create a subcommittee. I'd love to have someone second that if folks are okay with it. Okay. Any discussion? Anyone else interested in getting involved in that project?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, no pressure. We can always kind of reorganize things, but what I will do is we'll start an email chain. I'll bring you two in on it if you're interested in kind of knowing what's going on, and we can just start a conversation, start brainstorming some people to talk to, and kind of take it from there.
I'm gonna replace my solar system.
Okay, cool. So with that set aside, we should go ahead and approve the minutes from last month. So those were sent around last week. My apologies. Normally I try and send them around 2 weeks at a time. I wrote it all out and wrote the draft agenda out, and then it just sat in my email inbox for a week. I didn't realize. So were there any questions, anything that we missed, any spelling errors that people were concerned about on the minutes? All good? Okay, so can I have a motion from someone to approve the minutes? Okay, a second?
I'll second.
All right, all in favor of approving the minutes? Aye. Okay, so the next step is reports and updates on kind of our active projects here. So do you want to go ahead and give a little update on Clayton Park?
Sure. So we started carving into the wilderness.
By we, it's just him, by the way.
There is an open road now. You can actually get down in there with a vehicle to drive into the parking area. I can fit about 6-7 vehicles in there comfortably right now. There's gonna be more room I gotta open up for turnarounds for people with boats and stuff. There is at least 4-foot wide path to get all the way down to the river from the north end. There's a walking path if you go past the parking lot and follow the orange ribbons that I just put out the other day when I was down there working. It goes right along the perimeter of the entire property and comes out on another beachhead down there where all the Canadian geese are all floating in the river right now, hanging out. So it's real great to go down there and just watch them hanging out and stuff. There's a giant sycamore down there I'd really like to clear out. Right now it's being choked out by vines and knotweed surrounding it, so I'm working on clearing that out too. I've got one picnic table area cleared out for it. I have a resident who is donating several picnic tables in spring to the park. That's pretty much about it.
So that's amazing work. That sycamore tree, if it's really big, we might want to go and ask the road crew to cut it down just for like liability.
Wow.
Oh, you just want to clear it. Understood. Okay, glad I cleared that up. Even better. Okay.
There is one tree in question by the picnic area, which I call the lazy beaver picnic area because there's 2 giant cottonwoods where a beaver started chewing around it and gave up on it. And it's got to be at least 80 feet tall, but it is leaning out towards the river. So if it does decide to go,
It's not a big deal.
Mother Nature's gonna take care of it like she should, but
Okay.
it's been there for a while, so
Okay.
I don't know if it's going anywhere.
Well, yeah, so the other update on this is that Parks and Recreation just appropriated a little bit of money to put towards some signage and anything else,
So
so.
that's really neat down there.
Yep.
Nobody knows it's there. I have orange ribbons, like it's Halloween decoration right now, just letting people know how to get there.
Yep.
I've been in touch, I've sent emails to 2 guiding fishing services to get their recommendations on what they would need down in the park for, as well for area spacing, what kind of layout they would like to see. I'm waiting to hear back from them. I'm also reaching out to, an ornithology club for Bennington for bird watching. I'd like to clear out some more areas for that too down there, and I'd also like to, in the springtime, get bat houses situated in there too to help with insect
Nice.
control.
Love it, dude. That's awesome. So yeah, really just Herculean effort. It looks great down there. Like, there was a great Facebook post that I assume you posted that went around. Lots of good feedback from everyone. So yeah, just keep at it. You know, it sounds like the select board's kind of excited about it. Tara's excited about it. So, and yeah, just like let us know sort of, yeah, if there's anything you feel like we should vote on or any resources you need. Yeah, great job.
It's just cleaning and moving dead stuff out of the way.
So, and yeah, if you want, if you need extra hands, you can always send a group email to the Concom and we can.
I would love if you guys went down there and checked it out.
Definitely.
Your thoughts on what's going on, and the general public. I would love the general public to go down there, and I would love to get as much comments and ideas and feedback on this whole situation we possibly can get.
Cool.
Especially when it comes to the layout,
Yep.
because we've got a lot of room to play around with. We've got 3.5 acres, and I'm only using a little tiny chunk of it so far.
Are you on Front Porch Forum?
No.
If you want to, like, we could put together a post to send out that way too, just to solicit, just basically say it's open, go check it out, let us know what you think.
Yeah, and then bear in mind it's rough cut.
Yeah.
Everything is rough cut. I haven't like raked out paths or anything, but
Mhm.
they're all clearly marked, so you can walk around through there. If you go to the south end beachhead, there is a little bit of a hill you gotta go down. It's loose rock and gravel and stuff like that. Eventually I'd like to get some kind of step situation in there, but that's also in the floodplain part of the park too, so.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah,
wanna set up
we'll have to look at
anything permanent down there unless we get some kind of plan together for it.
Okay, cool. I have a sign about sort of tick mitigation measures and stuff, so maybe I'll just go put that up on a tree over there if there are people hiking down there, because I know the ticks have really come out.
Yes, it has.
Okay, cool. Great. So, town forest fundraising. So, Tom's kind of heading that up, but he and I are working on it's the Recreational Trails Grant, which is a Agency of Natural Resources grant, and that's going to be to try and sort of build this connection in the town forest that'll connect us to the second valley that we currently don't have access to. So we're cruising along on that. Tara is aware that we're working on it and she's willing to work on it with us. So I think we're in good shape there. But nothing super sort of groundbreaking to report there. Okay, who's at Ben Trail?
So select board says yes.
Nice.
I'm just gonna, unless anybody else wants to be involved, I was just gonna run out there this weekend.
Cool. Do you need, I know we talked about trying to get like some fencing or signs, like, do you need some money to sort of execute
I feel
that?
like I'm just gonna handle it.
Okay,
As my line around, I would be glad to have them.
so,
Hey, that's a fence, snow fence.
I have 100 feet of snow fencing I'd like to donate.
Great.
So,
love it.
my goats are done. I'll give you the whole enchilada. Do whatever you want with it. You can double, triple layer, help yourself.
I've got a couple of those sort of garden posts to hammer into the ground. If that would be, yeah, maybe we can just kind of source the stuff we need locally. And in the future, if you weren't ready to just go make it happen, Parks and Recreation has budget that we can put towards projects like that. So if we just need something like that, so we can get it for you. But yeah, no, that's on. I love it. That's the best way to do it for sure.
This weekend?
Yeah. Wanna come play?
Pretty busy.
Go to Friday.
No Kingston. Sure, okay, yeah.
Will you send out just a group email, just let people know when you're going, and if anyone else can help, they can go out there?
Send it to me.
Awesome. Nice job, Janie, and thanks for going to the select board meeting for that one. Yeah, totally. So, the next one is invasive plant mitigation. I wanted to keep that on there. So like, how are you feeling about that? Like, so this kind of dovetails in on, one thing I was thinking about was like, we have a very limited amount of human power to actually like go pull weeds, right? And there's all sorts of stuff like that, especially, recently, like the drought conditions, like there's a lot of sort of very conservation oriented stuff that's happening to us here.
Yes, yeah.
And we unfortunately don't have a whole lot of power to do a ton about any one individual thing. But I think maybe pivoting to try and focus on like raising awareness about these things and giving information versus trying to like physically go out and do it might be one way we can kind of make a dent in that. So that would be like what I was thinking was like a newsletter or something like that, right? Just once a month, we could send something out from Porch Forum and say, like, did you know we're in a drought? Here's some things you can do. Like, the poison parsnip is going to start growing in May. So here's what you can do. You know what I mean? So just trying to like, even if we can't actually like address the problems with manpower, at least like make people aware of kind of what's going on. So maybe that's a good way to start with it, even if we can't like physically do a project, just like to look at kind of what the big invasives are around here, when they grow, and we could maybe put out some sort of like infographic about kind of like what you can do, what to look out for, what they look like, identification of invasives. So yeah, I just sort of brainstorming there, but just as sort of potential ways to take it.
I do think, when I first moved up here in 2009, I was like, moving it.
Mm-hmm.
Fiction. And I sort of reached a place where I'm realizing, whoa, you are, did not read.
Oh, okay.
You cut it down and it's up again in a few days. And so, yeah, we have to sort of reach a balance, I'm afraid. I don't think we're gonna get rid of like the barberry, it's just, so, but I'm happy to do that. That's what I think would be a good place for me to just
Cool.
start. I was thinking it back too, if I could
Yeah,
publish it.
yeah, absolutely. Ashley?
I'm working on with the district, and it's just conceptual right now, but I'm working on actually a volunteer program. Like,
Oh, like a civilian conservation corps?
kind of.
Awesome. That's what we need.
Yeah, so I'm hoping to be able to recruit and orient volunteers in
Yeah.
specifically.
Well, yeah, Janie and I are pretty good at that.
So, I mean, it's not immediate, but if
Well, maybe,
we could talk about that maybe for phase 2.
Get people interested.
Yeah, but if you need like graphics or cards or anything.
Cool. That's great. Well, yeah, so, I mean, you can kind of start working as you see fit, but yeah, it's not, maybe just trying to put together some kind of information that we could then sort of disseminate to the community on that would be a good start. Cool. Okay. All right, state conservation news update. Hey, Margaret, can you hear us at all? I don't know if there was anything you ran across that you're interested in mentioning, but feel free if you want to.
Great, yeah, actually, there was a wonderful webinar last week put on by the Vermont Department of Fish and Wildlife and the Vermont Housing and Conservation Board to talk more about the state's 30 by 30 conservation goal. They were sharing a conservation inventory report that they just published, which was really fascinating because they had so many overlays of land that's already been permanently conserved towards the goal of conserving 30% of the state's land by 2030, but also what their high priority connectivity blocks were and the different types of ecosystems that they're looking to preserve. And they have another deadline coming up by the end of the year, which is to finish up the Vermont Conservation Plan. So that'll be done by December 31st. And so one of the reasons why I think it's really important to stay close to this is because as we're developing our town plan and zoning and things like that, really understanding what the relationship of Pownell is to the overall state conservation goals is really important. And there's so much good data on our land and natural resources that we can really kind of have that be present in our minds as we're making the town plan. And so anyway, I would love to, I know you were mentioning people up with different commissions and things like that. I personally would love to stay close to the town plan development so that I can try to connect up what I'm learning about the state's priorities with where we're headed as a town.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, one of the members of the planning commission is in the room here, so I mean, we can mention that. I don't know, like, do you guys kind of have a working group going for the town plan? I know you said you were kind of working with Fred a little bit on some stuff.
We divided up tasks, but no, we are meeting as a full group. We don't have subgroups.
Okay,
We have
cool.
some individuals that are doing first drafts of sections and then bringing it back.
Great.
Do they talk about conservation?
Not enough yet, but it's coming. I mean, what's really interesting, well, I could get into one thing and I won't do that, but I think we've made some progress in getting a little bit better focus on what the priority visions are. That's the first thing, which certainly is talking a lot about the natural beauty of Pownell being one of our greatest assets and emphasizing it. That was in the last one, but it wasn't pulled together well. So anyway, I think it's coming, but it's not, we haven't done it yet.
Well, yeah, Margaret, I love the idea of having you kind of keep tabs on what's going on and yeah, sort of when the right moment comes to be able to kind of contribute the sort of conservation bits and pieces towards that project would be amazing.
Yeah, I'm really interested in that. I would be happy to do that. So maybe I can just spend a little time. Was it Tom talking? I couldn't tell who was commenting, but yeah, like hook up to the town plan development and like you said, contribute as appropriate in terms of kind of the bigger picture of conservation in the state.
Great. That was my dad, David Fowle, commenting there. But yeah, Tom was planning on kind of going through the planning minutes and just kind of updating us on what's happening with the planning commission in general. But I think that the town plan is a big enough project that having somebody sort of specifically plugged into that would be really great. Because that's going to extend even beyond the planning commission probably relatively soon.
Yeah, I might just add, I mean, you have some expertise and you've been looking at the data and stuff, and this is stuff that I'm just getting started with, and I can really value the input you could give me so I can do a better job there.
Okay, well, so I'll connect the two of you then, and maybe that's a good place to start.
Sure.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks, Margaret. Anything else?
No, that was it for me.
Cool. Okay, so the last one on here is Powell inventory. So we had a really productive meeting with Sam Page and Tom and Tara and I, probably 3 weeks ago now, and we are getting really close. Sam has all of our sort of entire inventory database. She has trails from the town forest. She has bus maps. I think she kind of has all the pieces now. So now we are actually kind of waiting for her to do her bit. And then we can kind of show it around to everybody and make sure you guys feel cool with it. And it's a living document. It can change very easily, but ideally I'd love to get this like out there by, at least by the end of this year.
I can't see the town. I thought that was.
It will hopefully will help inform the town plan. I mean, it's a really interesting way to visualize kind of all of the things that we feel like are important to the sort of fabric of our community in one place. So yeah, hopefully it'll be a useful tool. I don't know exactly how people will use it, but it'll be good to have it out there. So yeah, I will hopefully have something by the next meeting to show folks just kind of how it's looking. Okay. Any other projects I forgot about? I know you've got a sort of a new project so we'll talk about that in just a minute. So the last two things that I had sort of on this reports and updates section was the mission statements and sort of coming to a final one sentence mission statement, and then the membership requirements. So I think if it's cool with you guys, what I think is the easiest thing to do with the mission statement is I printed out like all of the one sentence mission statements that we generated at one point or another on the one page. I think we should do ranked choice voting. Just like you can take it home, think about it, vote your top three, let me know what they are, and then at the next meeting we'll have our winner, and then we can all just vote to formalize that at the next meeting. So that way we can each kind of look at these on our own time. And yeah, the thing to remember here is that we may want to do some wordsmithing down the line. For the time being, let's just vote on one of these as is, and then we can change it literally whenever we want to. It's just to like get something out there. Same thing goes for the membership requirements. I don't know if folks read those, the sort of draft that I sent around. If there were any comments on those, we can talk about it, or if people feel comfortable, I'm happy to have a vote on it if people are ready. I think I sent these to you too, Margaret. I just took what Margaret had done, made a couple of tweaks, consolidated a few things here and there, and then added in the things that we discussed at the last meeting about, having people try and kind of keep up with one of the committees or some kind of cool project that's related and updating us, and just the idea that ideally we want to have everybody kind of spearheading some sort of project. So those were really the only two additions. So do you folks want to go ahead and just vote on that part and get it out of the way with the understanding that that can be changed or edited at any time? Do you want to wait until the next meeting when we've got everybody? Any thoughts?
Good to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the thing that Margaret wrote.
Margaret wrote it and then I did like an edit on it. Okay, so I guess if somebody wants to sort of make a motion to go ahead and approve those, we'll take it from there.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, anyone want a second?
A second.
All right, any more discussion? All right, all in favor of approving our current draft of the membership requirements and responsibilities, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? And I don't know if you caught Margaret said aye too there. Thanks, Margaret. Cool. Okay, and then so I'm going to pass these around, and I think the way to do this, just read it in your own time, and then when you're done, just let me know which ones you liked, and I can kind of tally it up, and know sort of what we're going to go with. All right, so new business is the next thing. So, Ashley, do you want to talk about the Bennington County Community Resilience Workshop project?
Yeah, it's a mouthful. So the idea behind this workshop is, I attended I think it was the BCRD Leadership Summit.
Was BCRD?
Rural Development.
Rural Development, okay.
And there was Jess and Lena Greenberg from Bill Crow's. I don't know if you've heard of them, but they basically, it's just the two of them. They have a nonprofit where they created this assessment, a community resilience assessment. It's broken down to different categories like infrastructure, food and shelter, without looking at it, I think there's 5. And so what I want to do with this is have a series of workshops throughout the entire county. And I want to have the first one here, which the first one would likely be, how do you use the assessment, right? But I was hoping that panel would want to post that and also maybe give me a letter of support for my grant application.
Sure. Well, certainly, we as a conservation commission can both offer to host that workshop as a part of a meeting.
Well, it would ideally.
Or as a full meeting, essentially.
Yes, open to the public. Open to other municipalities.
Oh,
like
Oh.
other conservation commission.
Yep.
Oh, I see.
The goal is to provide technical assistance
Mhm.
and also connecting people throughout the county
Cool.
for asset sharing, you know, just having like open discussions and connecting and figuring out, you know, where we're at in our region and who needs help and
Sure.
who can help, you know. So yeah, I wanted to do the first one here.
Great. I think that's awesome. And yeah, I mean, we can basically have a special conservation commission meeting specifically to sort of run this program here, I think.
So the grant that I'm applying for is only, I see, but it's $4,000. So the grant that I'm applying for is literally just going to be for this one workshop.
Mhm.
And then I'm hoping that we can use that workshop to unlock other grant opportunities.
Totally.
'Cause, I mean, there's, how many towns in the county? I Googled it, it said 66, I was wrong.
Yeah, that's all right. It's less than that, but we have a good handful.
But like, I know Powell doesn't have a great hazard mitigation plan. And so Powell would receive technical support to create and update that. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
In terms of that letter of support, like, obviously it's like we could write a letter of support as a conservation commission. Would it be helpful to get like the select board to sign a letter of support for that? Like, what do you think would have the most weight in terms of getting you that grant?
I think having the select board,
Okay.
support it, and I don't even really need them to say, yes, you know, we're backing her up.
Mhm.
What I need them to say is, we're interested in partnering with the district to do this and host the first series. So,
Okay, so I think probably the way to go with that then is just to essentially kind of write up whatever the letter of support that you would want them to sign would say.
yeah,
And then we can present that to the select board and see if we can get their approval on it.
yeah, I'm hoping, you know, we can help with the promotion.
Definitely.
That's the first workshop, like, I think it would be really great to have a town do it, especially saying to other towns, like, hey, this might be useful for us, and come check it out, you know? And I'm
Absolutely.
trying to get enough, funding to do stipends for participants too. So,
Cool, that's awesome, that's amazing.
sweet.
So I guess in terms of action items on this, like, I never know what rises to the sort of level of needing a vote or not needing a vote on stuff like this. But yeah, I mean, we're like, I'm gonna make a motion to put Ashley in charge of looking into the feasibility of running the first one of these workshops here in Pownell. And yeah, I'll let you kind of spearhead. You know, you can write this thing out, send it to Tara, get on the agenda, and then it does help sometimes to just like, if you go to the select board meeting when it's happening, you can just stand, they'll let you talk for 5 minutes and you can kind of explain it, and they've been so supportive. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I'm gonna make a motion to put Ashley in charge of this project. All right, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. You also sent me a really great grant, opportunity for this Trees for Streams thing. So we don't necessarily need to take this up right now, but, this is something that might be great for doing more mitigation on the Hoosick Bend Trail or some other locations. So yeah, I don't know, I think I sent it around, or if I didn't, I can send it around. If anyone is interested in taking up that project and writing that grant, I think that would be a good fit, but also obviously writing a grant is a heavy lift. So, it looks like, very briefly, let's see,
The due date is November 3rd.
due date's November 3rd, so that's very soon, yeah. So, you know, yeah, we can, I mean, let's see, oh geez, yeah, that's even before the next meeting. So yeah, if we want to apply for this grant, we need to decide we want to do it now. What's that? They're using another one. Okay.
The way they made it sound is like there, but it stays open.
Oh, yeah, they have a rolling application deadline of March 17th, 26.
That, and we were actually talking about that before the meeting.
Mhm.
So that grant is probably better for larger
That's
operators.
Cool.
If you have something smaller in the town, the district can come and help you with that. You can apply for funding through the local fund pool, much less red tape. And we need people to apply because we need to be able to prove that.
Okay.
District. Who we apply to?
So that's the Bennington Conservation District.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha. So, yeah, I think that makes sense, right?
Well, and in terms of bigger projects, like the one that comes to mind for me is the landslide on the Old Woods Road. Cause that's a big section of road that washed into the river there, and before we can do anything with it, we need to like stabilize it. So I wonder if, we can look down the line, coming up to the spring, whether or not we want to kind of see about putting together. So that's the old entrance to the town forest. So it's, and the reason that we might want to do some work, well, there's huge, the first is just to stop the river from eroding, but also, if we could reestablish access.
Yes, yes.
That's a way easier way for people to get into Reservoir Valley than what they currently have to do, which is hike, probably 8 or 9 miles up over the Taconic Bridge and across and back down. Like any work in Reservoir Valley or do you mean like on? No, it's been exactly the same since it happened in like, it was like 2002, it came down or something. If you're interested, I'm hoping at some point to go out and take a look at it, because I haven't been out there either. So if you want to take a look at it, we could just walk out and check it out at some point.
Yeah.
Sort of see what the deal is, yeah. Cool. So okay, so let's keep this one on the back burner and yeah.
I'm happy to write or work on the grant, but I don't like the idea of a third day.
Yeah.
If my memory serves, which it doesn't often do that, but I think March.
Yeah, it says there's a rolling application deadline of March 17th, 2026. So that's a more realistic. Okay, so.
Yeah, there's road access and stuff, so even that, candidate for that grant.
Okay, so let's, between this meeting and the next meeting, let's go just take a peek at that place, take a couple pictures, and just do a little brainstorming and see if we think it might be a good candidate for it.
That's for, sometimes in grants, they ask you for like, proof that you've done something, I mean, so should we really document the that we're doing down on Hoosick Bend?
I mean, I think you should document that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure, yeah, take some pictures or whatever, and we can, brag about it online.
Yes.
That's what I did.
No, I mean, it's really, it makes a big difference, like, definitely. And there's so many great things that happen in town here that just people don't hear about, and all they hear about is the bad news, because that spreads like wildfire, Okay, so then the next proposal on here was something that I brought up earlier, which was trying to put together like a monthly Front Porch Forum newsletter. Not only necessarily to share like the projects we're working on, but just to share kind of any information that we think is conservation related that might be useful for members of the community. So I think for this first one, like we could talk about invasive plants, and I think we should also talk about drought. And just kind of like, here's what's going on, here's where you can report, like if your farm is experiencing drought. It's the same thing, it's like it sounds like Bennington County is definitely in a severe drought, though it doesn't look like that at the state level because not enough people are reporting drought conditions down here. So yeah, just raising awareness. Here's how you can report it. Here are some things you can do to help conserve water. So that
was something, is that from, there was something within the past month.
Yeah.
Drought conditions.
Okay. Well, so maybe what we can do then is like.
We need the reports, because once we get those reports, we can we missed out on the last natural.
Yeah. Okay, so for that, maybe the way to do it then is let's coordinate over this month, and maybe like towards the end of this month, I'll try and put together a Front Porch Forum post with whatever information we can come up with about this stuff, and I'll show it to you guys at the next meeting, and if everyone feels good with it, we'll post it right after or something.
Okay, so you're talking invasives?
Invasives and trout. I think those are I think those are two perfectly good ones. There's plenty of information out there, and it doesn't need to be, we're not trying to write a book. It's just like, just awareness raising.
Or it's like, if you're doing it monthly, you do like 4 items at once, you don't want to go.
Well, yeah, so like, I think that's a project that I'd love to, like, I'm happy to contribute to, but also like, I'd love to find somebody else who might be interested in kind of spearheading that long term, cause it's just another, it's another lift that has to happen. So for this first one, I'll go ahead and try it, and then, yeah, just think maybe we could like rotate around and like a different person could do it each month, something like that. So yeah, no, let's think on it for a month. I'll put something together with Megan this month, and then yeah, maybe we can figure out some sort of system to sort of spread that responsibility out. And actually, if you come up with like some other stuff that you think would be useful, like I'm not opposed to adding more information in there. So like if you find something cool, like send it along to me, and I can include that too. Cool. Okay. So anything else? Any other new projects or things that? Yeah.
So one is in response to, it was really interesting to hear you say at a select board meeting just to talk about the water supply concerns and all this. There's an organization called Water Solutions that does a subsidized rain barrel program for households. When I lived in Nashville, the whole municipality did it, and it was, you get them at less than half the cost of the rain barrel, and the company just buying the bulk gives you most of that discount to the municipality already. But I was just wondering about something like that, something you want to do, because it's just kind of part of community resilience as far as I'm concerned. And if that might be something that we want to do, I looked into it, I contacted the person. It's like pallet is only 33 of them, so that's all to sell to people. But if not this program, I think maybe looking into something akin to this, so that there is more. I know that drought is not typically the Vermont experiences; it's usually the opposite. But now that we've had it, it feels like it would be really good to have some kind of mitigation around that.
People's wells are drying up, or people were telling me they were getting algae bloom in their well, like.
Yeah.
The
A
water
lot of
is-
people have had wells work around this time. So
Yeah.
Is that like so that's subsidized installation?
well, the installation piece it's like very do it yourself. And
Is it
the
like a 275?
no, they're only 50 gallon. So yeah, I tried to print out the information. It was not working before this.
I would love to look at.
Yeah, it's there, and they give everybody who purchases one like a comprehensive installation video. You can even connect them if you get two, so that if it gets to one or level gets to certain, if there's a spillover, you can connect 3, 4, whatever, however many you want. But it's just a way to have like a water supply if you don't have, if your well's not, or
I think if your
it's
electricity
dry,
goes up.
or even if your electricity goes out.
Awesome.
So
Yeah, great project, absolutely, and super pertinent to like what's going on today, and maybe that the next newsletter can be promoting this program, because that would give you basically like 2 months to sort of start pulling it together.
So can I go ahead and just have sort of an exploratory call with this person? And
Yeah. Yeah, totally, and then yeah, I don't know where we would need permission from folks, but I can ask Tara if we even need it at all, but yeah, I think that's an
Maybe
awesome
we
thing.
just need to deliver them to the location, and they they handle all the purchases, they do all the infrastructure. They do like a branded website, it has like, here's how to order them. And then we have to use them with clipboards,
Oh, I
and
see.
fit in the backseat of a car. So
That's so awesome.
it's
Yeah,
pretty turnkey.
you know what, yeah, just, I would say put together a really, really short description of the project so that if we need to show it to the select board to get permission, we can. But yeah, that's not gonna cost anyone here any money, and I can think of a few people in the room who'd probably be interested,
So
so.
we have to get people in the community interested enough to get online and order one.
Yeah, and we could also see what sometimes happens is, the barrels, if you were to just go purchase this specific barrel, it's like $150. But we get them for like, it's like $75 or $80, something like that, is what it costs for somebody to buy one. And then if the town decided to say, we'll kick in $20 per barrel, then it would be $60 for water to come and buy one.
Cool.
So we could see about, you know, how we don't have a bunch of money to throw around, but that maybe to subsidize that. Helping with horse.
I was wondering how appealing is a 50-gallon rain barrel to people?
Like bigger would be better.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering about disinfecting and filtration of the rainwater too.
Yeah, I feel like there.
Water, from your point of view, whenever I hear water, that's the first thing I think of, is disinfecting and filtration.
Either company also, and you said they provided a comprehensive, maybe there's some
Well, you're talking about like.
drinking water
getting ready
education.
for drinking.
Or whatever potable use that you're gonna use for the water.
I mean, I assume it would be like, it'd be non-potable, it'd be like great, right? You'd use it to like water your plants.
Or I think you can wash it, but if there's whatever filtration toilet, they would have to drink water. We're gonna be out of the soil.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you tell people not to use it for drinking water, but if it was an emergency situation, it's going to be used for drinking water.
It's funny, cause like I have 2 of the 200, the IBC. And, I mean, they fill up quick, like when it rains, they fill up really
It's
fast.
like a 2 minutes little.
And so I'm wondering if that 50-gallon drum is really gonna be, I don't know if it's gonna be appealing to the public. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's nice you can see them together at least, I mean, that gives you, I mean, I assume
But
the
then you're
reason.
convincing people to buy 5 barrels
Mhm,
instead of
mhm.
1.
Well, yes, I mean, those are all super valid questions. I think that shouldn't stop us from looking into it more and kind of seeing what the deal is. Because they may have a reason why they've opted to go for 50s instead of something bigger that we don't know, or.
In the car to take off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, and, you know, and I mean, we have a few thousand people in the community here, you know, if we sent a mailer home with the kids at the elementary school, their family, like, I think, you know, if it's only 30 barrels, I think we could probably come up with enough people. But, you know, for some people that might, you know, one house might want to buy, you know, 8 or 10 barrels, depending on kind of what they're trying to do. So yeah, I'd say go ahead and put together a proposal and we'll kind of take it from there. There you go. Yeah. Mhm. Well, yeah, to water your garden during a drought, so you're not using water out of your tap, right? That's.
So it's sat there in that barrel. So like Larry said, so it's sat there until you get a drought. I mean, it's watering plants, but.
You've got bacteria in water, no matter how much you filter it out, how much disinfecting you do.
Yeah.
So if it's sitting in a barrel without oxygen, all that bacteria is just sitting there stewing around. No matter how much you filtrate water, algae always gets through
Yes.
constantly. So it will grow inside dark, warm barrels.
Yeah.
And you'll have algae loaded water.
Which is good for your garden.
Great for your garden.
Okay.
But I wouldn't let it.
Well, okay, so we need to make sure that like an element of this is making sure we reinforce in every way possible that this is not potable water that people are saving.
Yeah, and in their information page, also just all around it, you know, the first thing is it's okay to prevent algae growth. It's got, you know, it's EPA free, it's got things to mitigate, it's not gonna be potable right out of the.
Yeah, so in other words, they thought about it too.
Well, yeah, it sounds like it's great. Yeah,
All right, if
I think we're back to public comment now
Something
anyway.
about doing this in 2 months, and I may be not typical, but at least in my mind, I'd be thinking about water barrels in the spring.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I guess I meant like, just in terms of like kind of getting some information and kind of deciding how we want to go with it. But yeah, you're right that it probably does make more sense to wait until, raining season again to, yeah.
Maybe we could have a. Lottery, you know, you win a. You win a water barrel.
Yeah, well, and they give you one for free so that you can like either use it for demonstration purposes or like we could drop.
Yeah, tell me if you want to throw any money in. There's also those, the ABCC has those like tiny grants. We might be able to get a little bit of money to buy a couple barrels that we could give away to people or something as part of it. So there's some options there. Public comment?
So going back, the racetrack could tie into this, because my understanding is there's an enormous, I don't know if it's been tested to know if it is good.
Wow,
That was
where is it?
under the ground? That was one of the reasons I said this could be a wonderful resource for the town, because if we're having a drought, we're gonna have droughts.
Yes.
And so if the town itself could have access to that for citizens in the future, that could be really helpful.
Absolutely true, and the hesitation that happens is it's down in the lowest part in town. So then you need to pump it up to somewhere where you have a big tank work and then gravity feed down, that's expensive, and right now, nobody wants to spend money on it. So.
Well, yeah, you know,
Notice that, huh?
I think, yeah, as always, it's like the best case scenario is like, some benevolent organization outside of the town comes in and does something awesome, right? And like maybe finding the right person wins.
Rights or the water rights, right? That's at the top with all the garbage there.
Well, I'm just thinking
And the
too,
tear down and all this.
like, what kind of, is it like a big well or is it?
Well, I think there are 2 or 3 wells on the property from the racetrack days, but it's the main aquifer that goes through right there, and it's really good water and it is abundant. That's what I understand.
I just hope some corporations buy it up.
Well, yeah, you know, I think like,
Like, that's a good place for it. Like Michigan was, you know, the town water supply. Bought up. It
Well,
stinks and too, but like, I just, now I worry about someone trying to buy it.
no, I mean, I think that's, yeah.
For me, my son, I mean, it wasn't, we just went up to the bike trail up in, right in Williamstown. We drank our water in 20 minutes, and then there's no public water. Like, why isn't there public water, drinking water anywhere?
You know, that got brought up at another meeting at some point, and someone pointed out that there are a couple places in town where historically there were water sources that people were drawing from. None of them have been tested, but if we wanted to, we could conceivably test those water sources. So, you know, that's a cool kind of low hanging thing. We'd have to find a little money to get testing kits or whatever, or see if we could, you know, beg from a local organization or something, but there's no reason we couldn't test the local.
Do you think that, your frown is deepening, Larry?
Nope,
I thought maybe with your job and all,
no,
Yeah, I mean, we may.
we don't do drinking water. You don't want to drink the water that we do.
Well, yeah, you know, we may find that there's legal reasons we can't do it or whatever, but it wouldn't be that hard to look into, right? And it would be like, especially in a time where people's wells are going dry, it'd be nice to have another water source that people knew was safe in town if that's possible. You know,
can you buy the below the ground?
with the right lawyers, anything is possible, but yeah. For what it's worth, I think like the advantage of the town owning it is that while the town owns it, we get access to money to do an environmental cleanup. I think like an ideal scenario in my mind is like somehow the town gets a hold of it, we paid it, you know, we get grants to do the environmental cleanup. And then once it's done, we can decide who we want to sell it to and have some control over it, you know, because long term, the town doesn't want to own it. Like they want to have that on the tax rolls, and I understand why. But yeah, I think at a minimum, like if we can control to some degree who it gets sold to, I think that's like a realistic outcome.
Is that self realistic? I mean, there's an owner and he can sell to anyone he wants.
Well, right now it's an auction, so it's going to get sold to whoever bids the most on it. Yeah, and then, you know, if we controlled it, then we would get to decide.
And you got to do the railroad nightmare too.
There's a lot of reasons that smart people are not going to want to own this, right? So we might be able to get it for a song.
And you have to build a bridge over the top of the railroad tracks.
Yeah, or you know, force the railroad company to build a bridge.
Yeah.
Either way, it's going to be a big project.
I don't think it's at all unlikely that the town gets it for back tax, that nobody bids it.
Yeah, they might. And if they do, we can do a cleanup and then unload it, and the town can make a little money.
Wait, we clean up?
Like,
I got my mark.
yeah, right, just a letter in there. But yeah, you know, if it's owned by the town, then we can at least, like, there's federal grants we can apply for and stuff.
They have a couple more things.
Yeah.
One is it's really dovetails on the trees thing that Ashley sent around. Is the edible riparian forest buffer program that's part of the community resilience initiative, it's part of the BCC. So it's basically planting fruit and nut trees along.
Mhm.
So I sent an query, haven't heard anything back from them, so I'll have to move forward to the program.
Michael Fernandez wants that stuff, so he'd be a good ally, for sure.
My coworkers, as part of the water quality program.
Maybe this is.
And that is, that goes through the local fund. So,
Cool,
Yeah.
I'll send you the form.
great, amazing.
Taken in terms of the resilience piece of the publicly available trees.
Yeah, and that would, I mean, you could do that on any string thing, really.
Mhm,
Yeah, just have to give her.
mhm. Cool.
Only other thing I had was, I just was gonna share a couple things from the last two select board.
Great, yeah, I wanted to ask you about that, yeah, for sure.
Well, one is just that they're calling for capital plan priorities, so we need to be thinking about that because we're gonna start planning this Thursday, and then it will be on the process until March.
Uh-huh.
The other thing is just that is sort of in our bailiwick is that the landfill, PFAS that are showing up in well water and groundwater. There was a discussion of treatment options back with the people who came in, Sean Donovan and Kurt, someone who's saying, and I did not get. But the standards, they're about to lower the threshold on what the standards are, so it's, or I guess raise them, whatever, but they're gonna be more stringent.
Oh, okay.
20 parts per trillion, so that just means that more households are likely to be affected. They'll likely have this, so just something, I mean, not that we can fix that, but just that also.
You know, Joe Dance, who was briefly on the Conservation Commission, brought this up, and like, I think, if we can come up with funding to do it, I think like being able to help offer, or not even remediation, just testing, just so people can test their wells.
So,
The testings.
so I had, my water tested for PFAS, I had to jump through hoops and call state agencies, and I don't even know who ended up coming out and doing it, they did it for free.
Uh-huh.
But, so, and that's what they had said, that we technically tested above the threshold, but the threshold is based on like a fully grown adult drinking that water for like 40 years. And, you know, so I made the argument, well, I have 2 small children, and like, what do I do? And they pay for water delivery for me and pretty much everyone on our street, on 346.
Wow.
And it's funded through the state, I'm pretty sure, but you just get like a water cooler and you can't
Jeez.
drink the water.
Well, yeah, so I think this could be kind of a two-pronged thing, right? It's like we could think about helping to provide money or testing equipment or whatever, but also like raise awareness, right? This could be another kind of newsletter of like, there's PFAS here, here are all the resources that are available and sort of how to navigate that system. Because yeah, I bet there are tons of people who are drinking water that's contaminated and don't know it out here.
So the thing I'm worried about, and is that PFAS is everywhere.
Mhm.
And if you test soil or water for PFAS, and you test positive,
Can't sell your property. That's-
you can't get funding for anything agricultural. Like you will not get funded if there's PFAS in your soil, if you have proof that there's PFAS in your soil. That being said, you know, just tread carefully, I guess, like just, it's kind of like, it's weird because you wanna say, hey, this is bad for you and like it's gonna cause cancer, but there's nobody in the world on the planet that doesn't have PFAS in them already. So it's like you're picking up that risk of potentially losing out on a lot of money for something that was probably going to happen anyway.
I think about all the plastic you've ingested.
That's good.
Aside from that.
So you got PFAS in your water, but you drink out of a plastic water bottle. There's more PFAS in one plastic bottle than there is in that entire river.
Well, and, you know, this might be just my 2 cents here, but I'm not sure it's up to us. So really have, to really put a good solution for that, because it's bigger than us.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I mean, I think certainly there's no solution that we could implement, but I think, again, like, and you're right, that, like, we wanna sort of make sure that people understand the context. I think, like, raising awareness is probably where we can kind of come in. And that raising awareness could be about doing the testing, but also about reasons you might not wanna do testing, right?
And about the products you buy too.
Sure, yeah.
If you have PFAS in your water, or if you're worried about it, here's some resources. This is what you can do about it
Okay.
to make it better. I mean, cause that, you know, we were looking for solutions, and they're just really, I mean.
That's
I
true.
mean, you can do
Wastewater.
a huge, like, well remediation.
Yeah.
Cost the tens of thousands of dollars.
That's what we've done on the fire district, well in Powell. It's got a huge like filtration system on it. Okay, so in terms of sort of action stuff on that, like, do we want to kind of put that in line for one of these kind of newslettery kinds of things, and then we can kind of think about what information, like you said too, right? It's like PFAS in general, like where.
You say that word and people panic immediately. It's up to the consumer about PFAS control when it comes to what merchandise you buy. There's a lot of material now that'll tell you this product contains PFAS, this doesn't, this company uses it, this doesn't. It's up to the customer then when it comes to buying stuff, when it comes to PFAS avoidance.
Yeah, 'cause it's not banned, is it?
Yeah, you find it in Teflon, plastic. It's been around since the 30s. So it's not going anywhere. It's called the Forever Bond for a reason. It's got 33,000 components to its biological code. So it's not going anywhere, but they are working on it.
Yeah, let's just think about it for a future newsletter item for just awareness stuff, if you know you have this stuff.
Great, love it. Love it,
So
awesome.
the other piece, for 2 other pieces, all that stuff was from the September 22nd, it's like the October 9th one. Mike had brought up a discussion of doing a sustainable logging forest management plan, offset property taxes in the forests. So I think if that's the thing that we just want to be aware that may be something that is under discussion, and see if how we want to be involved with that discussion.
Definitely. So I can give you a little context on that. I can't give you context on what Mike said. It sounded like he was kind of going on a little bit of a flight of fancy on that one. But like we're working with the county forester right now in the town forest. She's going through the forest, doing an inventory of the different standing trees that are there, and she's gonna write up a forest management plan that will have recommendations in it for whether and how we would do logging if that was something that was even feasible up there. And I don't know whether it is, because it's been logged a couple of times and it's so steep that like the cost of logging up there is probably pretty high. So yeah, we're aware that logging was one of the things that was sort of on the table. And we do have, like, the county forester is kind of looking into that. So, yeah, I think it's no need for immediate alarm, but yes, I will definitely keep Concom up to date on kind of what's going on with that. We should sort of be aware of it, for sure. Tessa McGann. She's great. Yeah, I can shoot your email or something. Yeah, I'll connect you with her. Yes.
And then the only most important thing I think is to get a good, if you're going to have loggers, you can't have fly by night people. Somebody one of the owners of the tubs had this fly-by-night crew from New York come through and just made a mess of it.
Mhm.
So that's, you know,
What is that?
what,
The fly by night, what is that?
oh, that means like, you know, like some, old language, some company that they're there one night and the next night they're gone, they're somewhere else. They're no longer in existence, you know, in other words, they aren't a reputable company.
Well, yeah, the town's got sort of a process for procurement, for hiring people, and so, yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. And ultimately, that will be a select board's decision. But,
Let's go for the cheapest.
yeah, we'll see what happens. There's a few ideas of ways we could potentially monetize the forest. And I don't know whether logging will happen or not, but I think it is agreed upon that any logging we are gonna do is gonna be done in a sustainable way based on best practices and sort of guided by what the county forester tells us.
So,
Yeah.
Is that something that we can get a hold of the state biologist to go up and check out? Make sure it's gonna be ideal for the wildlife that supports already.
I don't really know. I'm not sure. I think, Tessa would probably be a good person to ask about that. And she may even have some expertise there, so she may include some of that stuff in the management plan. That's actually coming down the pike pretty soon, so hopefully within a month or two, you'll actually be able to lay your eyes on it and sort of see what you think of it and give some feedback. Because yeah, definitely we want to make sure we cover all our bases there, and certainly if we decide we're gonna go down that logging road, there's a bunch more things we're gonna have to figure out.
Cause some logging is actually good for wildlife.
Totally.
You clear cuts, you get fresh growth coming in through there, it's like you bring those manure through a lot of the deadfall and whatnot, so actually it is supportive.
Yeah, I mean, I think we should keep an open mind, there's definitely, logging can be a part of a good conservation plan, provided that we sort of do the research, and luckily we have lots of experts working on it, so hopefully if we end up doing that, we'll do it in a way that doesn't damage the forest up there.
What is your goal for that forest?
My goal personally, or the select board's goal, or?
Just, what are we doing with it?
Well,
we I think recreation and tourism, and getting some.
yeah, I think
The Taconic Trail, so what with that?
so. Yeah,
Fantastic hunting up there too.
Hunting, yes.
So yeah, in terms of what the community wants, it's mostly been recreation, yeah, hunting, fishing, hiking, biking, etc. And the select board wants, connection to the Taconic Crest Trail. And they want, access to Fish and Game Club for members. And eventually they want to have an ADA accessible, path to a view somewhere up there. So that's kind of their goal. And then, yeah, I guess on top of that, there's the goal of figure out a way to sort of offset the cost of owning it a little bit, one way or another. So that could be camping, it could be logging, it could be, whatever. So yeah, we are still very much in the goal setting process. And if you want to get involved in that, there's a small working group that would love extra people. And we're absolutely open to other ideas.
Last thing I heard was just that the planning commission Fred brought the concerns from why we're going to address it in town. Which is what maybe it's a little bit start.
Great. Yeah, thanks for the update on that. And I'll include, moving forward, I'll kind of include a section of the meeting where anybody who heard some gossip in town or went to a meeting or whatever can kind of, sort of disseminate any information. Cool. That's really super helpful. Thank you for doing that. Yeah, definitely. And yeah, if anyone else feels excited or motivated, you don't even have to go to the meeting, just take a peek at the minutes. We just want to make sure we're sort of collectively we're staying on top of what's going on. So thanks for doing that. Cool. Okay. Well, we're about 10 minutes over like we always are. So I guess unless there's anything else people want to discuss, I'll entertain a motion to.
So moved.
Great. Second. All right. All in favor of ending the meeting? Aye. All right. Thanks a lot. Margaret, you still there? Okay. You don't have to. And